Like and subscribe right now, or you're gonna have terrible luck for the next week.
From a fish that possesses a deadly sting to one that is called the meanest creature of the sea, here are the 10 most dangerous creatures found underwater. Number 10. Stingrays. Although the chances of you being stung by a stingray is next to nothing, they still deserve to be called one of the deadliest animals in the ocean. They come armed with a long, thin, whip-like tail at the end of which are either one or more barbed spines. Each spine contains venom, and the stingray's tail can pack a powerful, incredibly painful sting. When stung, you'll feel immediate and severe pain at the wound site. If you're really unlucky and the barb has punctured your throat, neck, abdomen, or chest, or has pierced completely through a part of your body, you better get some help ASAP. Otherwise, what happened to renowned naturalist Steve Irwin might happen to you. Number 9. The crown of thorns starfish. The crown of thorns starfish is a kind of sea star so named for the spines that cover its body and arms. The sharp spines on the sides of the starfish limbs resemble thorns and create a crown-like shape, giving the creature its name. These thorns are extremely sharp, more than capable of piercing through standard wetsuits and other clothing. They are pretty flexible as well and are used by the animal to move around the ocean floor. This species is a well-known coral predator, and outbreaks of tens of thousands of individuals have been known to destroy entire reef systems. However, they are not only dangerous to corals, but to humans as well. The crown of thorns produces a neurotoxin which can be released through its spines. Not only are the wounds themselves serious, but the neurotoxin can cause a sharp stinging pain that can last for hours, as well as nausea and vomiting. Frequently, the area around the wound turns a dark blue and begins to swell, which may persist for weeks. The spines themselves may break off and become embedded inside the skin. This can lead to infection and increased toxicity. Number 8. The bristleworm. Most worm species are completely harmless, with a few exceptions of course. And among these few that can cause bodily harm, the bristleworm is one of the most dangerous. They are large, thick, spindle-shaped worms growing to about 200 millimeters long. Bristleworms are often found under rocks and corals in tropical areas throughout the world. But you've probably seen one already, as they are quite popular among saltwater aquarium aficionados. But being a popular pet doesn't mean they can be handled carelessly. The bristles that these worms are best known for easily break off when the animal is touched. They can easily pierce the skin, causing a lot of issues, including inflammation, burning, swelling, numbness, redness, and of course, mind-numbing pain. Although the stings aren't fatal, I imagine getting stung by one of these tiny critters when out diving in the open ocean can cause a novice diver to panic and may result in something infinitely more tragic. Number 7. Blue-ringed octopus. Immediately recognizable by their iridescent blue rings, these tiny octopuses prefer to be left alone and spend most of their time hiding in crevices or camouflaged against coral reefs of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. But when it's threatened, this tiny cephalopod shows its true colors quite literally. Its skin becomes a bright yellow and the blue rings even more vivid, almost appearing to shimmer. Beautiful as this display might be, it is also a warning that this is one of the most dangerous animals in the ocean. This octopus is highly venomous and possesses an extremely strong toxin known as tetrodotoxin. This incredibly strong neurotoxin is the same as that found in poison arrow frogs and pufferfish. At around 1,200 times more potent than cyanide, even the slightest nick from a blue-ringed octopus can be fatal. Number 6. The giant monkfish. The monkfish is a savage and somewhat terrifying looking fish, but it is in fact perfectly suited for its life as a deep water predator. They have evolved a number of adaptations which make them adept at catching their prey. That weird little thing growing on its head, known as the esca, can be wriggled around in any direction and is used to attract small fish which think it is something to eat. Once they are in range, the monkfish snaps forward incredibly fast to devour the fish in its huge mouth. The teeth of the monkfish are hinged, which allows the prey fish to be held securely in the monkfish's jaws. It also has an expandable stomach, which means they can eat fish which are almost as large as itself. It will even try to take a bite off a diver's hand, which, although unlikely, has actually happened. In one rare incident, a diver mistaken a monkfish for a grouper. He then proceeds to touch the presumably harmless fish, only for the monkfish to clamp down on his hand with its vice-like grip. The diver's friends actually had to pry the monkfish's mouth open with anything and everything they think they can use. Fortunately, the diver had thick diving gloves on. If not, things would have ended pretty badly. Number 5. The Great Barracuda. The Great Barracuda is amongst the top predators in the ocean and use very highly developed sight and smell to locate their prey. When attacking, this torpedo-like fish will build up speed and ram their target. They then unleash the power of their jaws, which allows them to slice through their prey, even those larger than the barracuda itself. Their jaws are so strong and teeth so sharp that they literally slice fish in half when they attack. Unbelievable but true. Their jaws are constructed in such a way that it mimics a pair of scissors, paired with extremely sharp teeth, slices through flesh and bone with ease. They attack humans, but very rarely. They are sight-oriented and quite inquisitive fish, and some of them have developed the unnerving habit of trailing snorkelers and divers. When attacks do occur, it's most often because they will attempt to steal fish from a spear fisherman, or they sometimes mistake shiny objects such as a diving knife for fish. But then again, it's hard not to imagine one of these attacks ending with a couple of severed fingers. Number 4. The stonefish. The stonefish has a camouflage so effective you wouldn't be able to see it even if it was 2 inches away from your nose. Or more accurately, your toes. This ability to go unnoticed only adds to its deadliness because it already has one of the most toxic naturally occurring poisons in nature. They are the world's most venomous fish, and although they don't grow that big, only growing a few inches long, they are a living proof of the fact that you don't have to be huge in order to be a threat. A stonefish's venom can cause excruciating pain and temporary paralysis, already a lethal combination, especially if you are diving miles away from shore. And if you're really unlucky, the venom can also stop your heart instantly. Fortunately, there is an anti-venom developed for the stonefish's toxin, but it won't do you any good, especially if you're out diving alone with no one to help you. The reassuring fact for divers is that stonefishes won't attack you directly. These creatures use their venom only as a defensive mechanism when divers accidentally step on them. But that doesn't mean that people haven't succumbed to the stonefish's deadly cocktail. Number 3. The cone snail. When talking about the most dangerous sea creatures, snails wouldn't normally come to mind. But that's quickly going to change once you meet this next animal on our list, the cone snail. Cone snails are only 10 to 15 centimeters long and look quite innocent, but a single drop of their venom is said to be enough to kill 20 men. They are awesome looking snails and are prized by shell collectors. However, handling these creatures should always be done with care. Cone snails, for reasons that are quite obvious, aren't active and aggressive hunters of prey, but rather harpoon their prey with hollow teeth and inject lethal venom through. Do not try your luck anywhere with these creatures though. They aren't called cigarette snails for nothing. Why, you might ask? Well, their venom is so toxic that one stung, a person only has time to smoke a single cigarette before he or she eventually dies.
Now it's time for today's best pick.
Today's best pick looks to be a gigantic eel. Now, no such a thing lives today, but there is actually a living eel that is extremely dangerous, even though it's not quite as large as the one in the photo. Number 2. The moray eel. Possessing a snake-like body, a protruding snout, and wide jaws, there's no mistaking the look of a vicious moray eel. I mean, just look at it. If there's a sea creature that looks like the personification of death itself, it must be this thing. Despite their name, they're not actually eels but rather fish, and they can be up to 8 feet long. A bite from their razor-sharp teeth and powerful locking jaws will produce ragged wounds that are prone to infection from bacteria inside the eel's mouth. That's according to the NOAA. The good news? If morays bite out of fear or by accident, especially when foraging for food, they will usually release their grip and let you go. They tend to be in crevices and holes during the day, then they hunt at night. They'll eat any fish or other creature they can catch. So when diving, especially at night, don't go sticking your hand into dark holes.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works.
Number 1. The stargazer fish. Instantly recognizable by the horrifying expression on their upturned faces, stargazers are among the most frightening fish in the ocean. They are capable of vacuuming up, electrocuting, and delivering deadly venom to their enemies. This trifecta of deadly attributes is the reason why the stargazer fish earned its nickname of the meanest thing in creation. The fish, named for the upward-facing eyes and gaping mouths located strategically at the top of their heads, has a face that only a mother could love. But their comical appearance hides a suite of deadly offense and defense strategies that make them surprisingly formidable predators. They spend most of their lives inconspicuously blending in with the ocean floor. Using their pectoral fins like shovels, they can dig beneath the sand and bury themselves in seconds, leaving only their eyes and their mouth visible. There, they lie perfectly still and wait for prey to swim by, before deftly stunning and overpowering their victims at lightning speed. Thank you for sticking with me till the end of the video. While you're still here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. That way you don't miss every time we upload new and amazing content just like this. Again, thanks for watching and see you on the next video.